how I was helped by seeking legal advocacy is, number one, I saw psych law, and I saw that Joe George is a psychologist, and I knew that the qualifying features for my vulnerability were definitely emotional and spiritual in nature. So, and I had a psychologist in the past, so that was the first thing. I saw his qualifications for dealing with clergy sexual abuse cases, and he was the first person that I called and the last person. And I liked the promptness of the office's response, and Joe called a couple of hours later. His demeanor was calming and soothing, and most people who have complex post-traumatic stress or any trauma issues, it's an anxiety disorder, so your anxiety is off the charts. And so you need a calming, soothing presence. So the nature, the presence, the qualifications. And the other thing is, I think one thing that every trauma survivor needs is to be heard and to be validated and to be believed. And in my experience, I was always the advocate as a nurse for patients, but very seldom have I needed to have somebody powerfully advocate on my behalf, especially for something that's embarrassing, something that would ordinarily be shameful. It's not exactly something you run around bragging that you have PTSD, and especially when your issues are all surrounding males of prominence as a child. And so then I'm going to find somebody who is in a power position, and I was just traumatized by somebody in a power position, so there would have to be something in that that would help be a balm and soothe. And I felt that the client-attorney privilege of being able to write, you know, just whenever I felt I had something I needed to say, that helped. I knew it wouldn't go anywhere else, and that my things were read. And also what was really paramount to me in this, because it's also a religious, spiritual issue, I didn't go after the church out of vengeance. It was actually justice and out of love for myself and advocacy for myself, but also for the priest himself, who was obviously in need of help, and also for any potential victims. And so it was a different perspective. And so I would need somebody who would appreciate my spiritual connection and my language, because it's a pretty unusual language, and I can tailor it in different situations. But in this, in order to be fully myself, I had to use my language fully, and it can be unusual, and people can think it's strange, but they rolled with it. So it was pretty good.